All right, Slay, I thought we were done with this tackling issue, but you had some things to say on your podcast. Let's check it out.
Overall, played a very, very solid game. Had a great tackling. I was tackling very, very well. A guy named Seth Joyner sitting here saying that.
Pause. First mistake. A guy named Seth Joyner. So, bruh, you didn't even do enough research. The minimal amount of research. All you probably had to do was walk around the building and ask somebody. They could have told you who he was. Or, how about this? Next time you're on the field, at the link, look at the Ring of Honor and the names on there. He's an Eagles Hall of Famer. And maybe not before too long, he will be a Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer. The fact that you didn't even do the smallest amount of research on who you were talking about. Like, come on, man. You talking about one of the best to do it for this squad. So you got to show some respect to the OGs. The bottom line is this, man. Seth Joyner is an OG. Seth Joyner is one of the best linebackers to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you would have did the smallest amount of research, you would know that. It ain't coming from a point of hating or trolling or just trying to get at you for the sake of clicks or something like that. Seth is somebody that studies the game, and he's one of the OGs. You probably should listen to him.
Now, I don't know what kind of tackle he wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? Getting the guy on the ground is getting the guy on the ground. I think Seth played maybe linebacker or something. And I think Buddy just wants you to try to knock folks out.
All right, first of all, did nobody say you had to knock anybody out? The only thing we're saying is tackling. Tackling is a technique. Tackling is an attitude. That has not changed in 50 years. It's always been the same. Since day one in football, they teach you how to tackle. They teach you the technique. Get your head on one side of the ball and drive through the ball carrier. Of course, you can't hit people in the head, and they've taken out that part of the game, but people can still make tackles. That's still a fundamental technique. And yes, back then, they taught us how to tackle the right way. We were a lot more physical back then. We had to be. But we still knew how to tackle. We still knew how to get people on the ground. It wasn't about everybody dropping their heads. Yes, there were people back then that dropped their heads. Yes, there are people now in today's NFL that drop their heads. So you're way off base on that, bro.
I'm only 190 pounds. Ain't too many people I could just knock out. And then there's safety rules, it's caution to this. And I don't think back then they taught them properly how to tackle because they used to tackle with their head down.
Nobody said you couldn't make tackles, but if you want to go back and look at that film and the way y'all were trying to come out high and push people out of bounds and the way you came at Debo, it looks like you didn't want to tackle. The big guy in the sky don't lie. Watch the film. I don't care how many tackles you had. We knew how to tackle back in the day because we did it so much. The DBs would come up and make hits. Even Mark McMillan, as small as he was, would come up and make tackles. So it's an attitude and it's the technique that they taught you from the day you stepped on the football field. Nothing changed. Now, whether or not people can do it effectively or correctly, that's another argument. But it is something that coaches teach. When I was coaching, you wasn't trying to knock their head off. You wasn't trying to go low at the knees. It wasn't a hip drop. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was none of that. You learn that as kids. The reason why so many kids get hurt like that, because kids are kids. They get scared. And the first thing they do is drop their head because they scared. That's what you try to coach out of them. And then when you get in high school, you get a little bit better. When you get in college, you're a lot better. And then when you get in the pros, you're supposed to know what the hell you're doing. So stop with the, I don't want to get the teeth knocked out of my mouth. You're wearing a daggone face mask and a mouthpiece. You just digging yourself in a hole, and this is not the fan base to do it to. Especially not with somebody like Seth Joyner, because he didn't tell no lies. He wasn't making the stuff up. If y'all are watching that film and y'all don't have nothing to say about your tackling, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Stop taking everything personal. These athletes today, because of social media, you act like can't nobody criticize you. Critique your game. The one thing that can always be questioned is the truth, because it'll always come out the truth. So stop taking everything personal and take it from somebody that played the game at a higher level than you did, and just take the criticism, learn from it, move on, and keep it moving. Seth is somebody that I played with. So I come from that same area. You know how to tackle. You just wasn't doing a very damn good job of it. Period. Social media have made people soft these days. You are unquestionably one of the favorite players in this city. So don't take it personal when the fans in this city hold you to that standard. Because the one thing about Philly is We call it like we see it. If it's good, we'll say it's good. If it's not, we'll say it's not. But we still love you. Go down there. Take care of Dallas. Go Birds.